Good morning students, welcome back to online classes of VLSA design. This is Aisha Sultana. So last class we have seen the topic of IDS and VDS relationship, right? I hope you are clear with the topic of last class. In case of any doubts, please do let me know. So what was the relationship between your IDS and VDS? So we have seen the relationship that IDS and VDS, which is given as Q divided by QC divided by tau. Your IDS, that is current, is equals to current which is between source to drain, that is equals to charge induced in a channel QC divided by electron transit time, that is tau. So we had two regions over there, one is saturation region and one is non-saturation region. We got the two formulas further for IDS and VDS relationship. So IDS is equals to C naught omega W by L, VGS minus VT minus VDS by 2 into VGS. Okay, that is VDS. So the from therefore we got the formula of IDS and VDS relationship for your which one, saturation, non-saturation region. For when comes to your saturation region, your formula for the IDS is equals to K into W by L, VGS minus VT divided by 2 whole square. Why we have considered here? Because we are considering here in the saturation region begins when VDS, your source to drain voltage, is equals to VGS minus VT. Okay, VT is nothing but your threshold voltage. So in today's class we are going to discuss about your threshold voltage. Last equation what we have derived IDS and VDS relationship is very important. That's for sure for long question in your final examination. So today we are just going to see what is threshold voltage. Next important topics we are going to see in today's class is about your MOS transistor transconductance and output conductance. So let's begin today's class with your first part is your threshold voltage, MOS transistor threshold voltage. I hope you remember or you know what is actually threshold. Threshold is a particular limit, after that you can't go, or something that remains constant. You are having particular sufficient limit to any application. So here also we are having the similar type of threshold voltage over here. Mainly the threshold voltage here is used as the minimum voltage or the gate to source voltage that is needed to create a conducting path. So what are the conducting paths you are having over here? The channel from which you are having the charges which are moving. So the gate structure of a MOS transistor, which consists of charges stored in the dielectric layer. I hope you remember the figure for which we have used IDS and VDS relationship. In that you will be having a channel where you will be storing your dielectric layer. You will be having your dielectric charges. Okay, you will be having a layer. So what we are saying, the gate structure of a MOS transistor, which consists of a charges which are stored in the dielectric layer as well as in your surface to surface interface. Surface to surface means like if you are having P substrate, then you will be having N diffusion, that surface to surface interference, as well as in the substrate itself you will be having some charges. To that one we require a minimum voltage to conduct some path, or to conduct the electrons, or to conduct some voltage or current to be passed. So that one is nothing but your threshold voltage. Means it minimum voltage, minimum gate to source voltage that is needed to create a particular conducting path, and that path you are getting from either from the charges that are stored in your dielectric layer, means through particular channel, either to surface interference or the interface that you will be having, or in the substrate itself you will be having the what threshold voltage. So this threshold voltage is completely dependent upon your modes. How many kinds of modes? I hope you remember in basic electronics people have read about enhancement mode and depletion mode. So in enhancement mode and in depletion mode, whenever your transistor is there, obviously it will be switching in enhancement mode as well as in depletion mode. So we have to see that whether when your transistor is switching to an enhancement mode, then what actually enhancement mode means, the transistor is normally in off condition, right? You remember that one. So the transistor is normally off, then VGS value will be obviously 0. So in enhancement mode the transistor is from off to on state, means it will be off, then after applying some voltage it will go on, but it will be in the off stage only, means your VGS should be equals to 0. Then what happens when you are going, your transistor is going from off to on state, it consists in applying sufficient gate voltage to neutralize these charges and enable the underlying silicon to undergo an inversion due to the electric field which is present in your gate. So that is what your enhancement mode. I'll repeat what actually the normal basic information, that enhancement mode means normally your transistor will be off. That means your VGS is 0. You are not on stage, you are off. So whenever you are having in transistor is in off stage, it should go on for the next one. So it has to be prepared. In that state, what actually it is applying some sufficient gate voltage. It has to neutralize all these charges, right? So that should enable the underlying silicon to undergo an inversion, that is due to the electric field from the gate. So what you are doing, you are neutralizing all the charges because you have to off the transistor. Now when it comes to the depletion mode, it is basically transistor will be usually on. It means the transistor will be from on to off state. It will be going for the next state, and which consists in applying enough voltage, which is already, it is having some enough voltage to the gate to add the stored charges and to invert the N implant region to P implant region. So that is how it's overall about your MOS transistor threshold voltage. And the MOS transistor threshold voltage formula, basically it is an equation which is given as Vt is equals to 5ms into Qb minus Qss divided by Co plus 2πfn, where your Qb is charge per unit area, okay, Qss is charge density of silicon dioxide interface, okay, silicon and silicon dioxide. As I have said, the charge induced between, we have already seen that there will be interface between layer to layer, so that charge also we have to consider. So that is QSS is nothing but charge density at silicon and silicon dioxide interface. Then C0 is nothing but capacitance per unit area or per unit gate area, also we can say that. Then after pi ms is the work function difference between your gate and the silicon, and phi fn is Fermi level potential, that is nothing but your voltage between your inverted surface and the bulk, that Si, that is silicon. So that was your formula. After evaluating the formula, then you will be getting as, actually what you have to do as to evaluate or as to get the threshold voltage, each term has to be defined. What is QB value, what is phi Fn value, that is your Fermi level value of your potential, and what is the charge per unit area. That everything you have to define, and you have to give the values, and you should substitute, and you'll lastly you'll get as Vt value. So what is Vq? In case usually this is not that much important, the examiner won't ask any kind of threshold voltage, but you are having the syllabus, we have to cover this one. So your Vt is equals to actually phi ms into Qb minus Qss divided by C0 plus 2πfn. The variations I have given each and everything, you can see that. And what is QB value? It is given as 2 under root of 2 epsilon SiQn 2πfn plus VSB, that is source to base voltage, how we are calculating. Then your Fermi level potential is also given. Then silicon, the charge induced between silicon and silicon dioxide layer which has an interface. So based on all this, the body effect is also very important in your getting your threshold voltage. So whatever the body you are using, the device which you are using, to that the body effect, or how your body is affecting to that particular voltage, that is also important in this one. So that potential difference between your source and body, that also affects the voltage, and that voltage is also considered for getting your threshold voltage. So for an NMOS transistor which is in enhancement mode, your VSB is nothing but your voltage between your source and the body. If is equals to 0, that VSB is equals to 0, then your threshold voltage will be 0.2 VDD. In case if your body voltage or the source and body voltage is 5 volts, and your threshold voltage should be 0.3 VDD. These are the values for the PMOS. These are values for the PMOS, but there should be negative. Similarly, I have given for the depletion mode also, VSB is equals to 0 volts, for VTD is equals to minus 0.7, and if its BSB is 5 volts, then VTD is equals to minus 0.6 VTD. This is your threshold voltage in depletion mode, and this is threshold voltage in enhancement mode. Okay, I hope you are clear with this one. Next, see, the very important is your MOS transistor, transconductance GM and output conductance GDS. These are the two things that we have to see. These are very important. Okay, what is the first one? Transconductance. What is a transconductance? Okay, this transconductance is actually given as expression GM is equals to mod delta of IDS divided by delta of VGS. What is IDS? Your current, drain to source current, and VGS is to gate to source voltage, where your VDS should be constant. It is the relationship between your output current as well as the input voltage. This is the voltage that we are applying so that some charge is induced in the channel, right? So that charge particles are that charges will carry your current. So our current is your output and VGS is your input. So transconductance is expressed as a relationship between your output current IDS and the input voltage VGS. Okay, we have to find out separately. As to find out the expression of your GM in terms of your circuit and transistor parameters, very first you have to consider the charge induced. We are saying that some voltage is applied on the gate, so the in the channel you will be some charge is induced that produces or that takes off your, or that due to that one you will be having a flow of current, correct? So first, as to get that parameters, practically what we have to do, first we have to consider the charges which are present in the channel. Okay, as to get that one, what you are taking, the first thing, I hope you remember in the IDS and VDS relationship, we have taken IDS is equals to QC divided by IDS, right? Here you are having the IDS value. So from this equation, can I get the IDS value? Isn't it or not? Where your tau is equals to transit time, IDS is equals to QC by tau. Can I write like this? Yes. So delta IDS is equals to delta QC divided by tau ds. Tau ds is nothing but the transit time, correct? So now what you are, but actually what you are having, tau ds value is equals to L square by mu ds. L is nothing but the length of your channel. Yes, in the previous section we have discussed there clearly what is tau ds, transit time, how you are getting that one. So your tau ds is equals to L square divided by mu into VDS. We'll substitute this tau value, transit time value, in your current equation. So what is the current equation? IDS is equals to delta QC, this part here you have to substitute, right? Delta QC divided by tau ds. What is tau ds? L square by mu ds. This third term will be going upside. So what I'll get the equation? Delta IDS is equals to delta QC VDS into mu divided by L square. So this is the equation for your IDS. But the change in the charge, now we have to see if there is a change in the charge, how we'll get the equation. The change in the charge is given as Q is equals to C into V. Okay, now that change in the charge is delta QC, I am writing it as CG into delta VGS, correct? Now substitute this value in your QC in this above equation of your current IDS. What is here? You will be getting delta IDS is equals to CG delta VGS into mu into VDS, yes, divided by L square. Just substituting the value, correct? So now the transconductance, substitute the value, this IDS value, in your transconductance. What is transconductance? As we have told, it is the relationship between your output current IDS and the input voltage VDS. IDS we have obtained here. What is IDS? CG delta VGS mu VDS divided by L square divided by delta VGS. We'll cancel delta VGS and delta VGS over there. So what is the equation you will be getting for your transconductance? GM is equals to CG mu VDS divided by L square. This is the equation for your transconductance. Okay. But if you are having the saturation, this is the given equation is for non-saturation region. If you will go for the saturation region, what is the condition for the saturation region? Your VDS should be is equals to VGS minus VT. There's the same thing we have applied for the IDS and VDS relationship with that we have derived in the last class itself, right? So in the under saturation region, your VDS value should be equals to VGS minus VT. Now in this present equation, substitute the value of VDS. What is VDS? GM is equals to CG mu VGS minus VT divided by L square. correct? So this is how you will be giving the equation in the saturation region. For further simplification, you can also consider your Cg, the capacitance between the parallel plates, and that is given as your Gm is equals to, what is Cg? Epsilon naught epsilon ins Wl divided by d. What is W? Width of the channel. L is the length of the channel. D is your I don't remember actually what is D. So D divided by L. W L epsilon ins epsilon naught L divided by D. So that you substitute in the equation and you'll get this answer. So what I am doing now, in terms of beta, I am writing the equations. Gm is equals to beta Vgs minus Vt. This whole equation. What is beta value now? Beta is nothing but your, what is beta? Beta is nothing but your mu into epsilon ins epsilon naught divided by T into W by L. That is your, what is the equation for your transconductance? D is, I think, the thickness, oxide thickness, I remember. D is your oxide thickness, W is the width of the channel, L is length of the channel, D is the oxide thickness, epsilon naught and epsilon ins are the permittivities for the free space, and okay. So the overall your transconductance Gm is equals to, actually the equations Gm is equals to Cg mu Vds divided by L square. When you consider this equation in the saturation region, what is the Vds value? Vgs minus Vt. So the equation becomes Cg mu divided by L square into Vgs minus Vt. Now if you take the Cg value, the capacitance value in between the parallel plates, then if you consider that Cg is equals to epsilon ins epsilon naught Wl by d, where epsilons are your permittivities, the W is the width of the channel, L is the length of the channel, and D is the oxide thickness, and you substitute the value, then your transconductance Gm is equals to mu epsilon ins epsilon naught divided by T D into W by L Vgs minus Vt. And in terms of beta, if I am going to write the equation, then what I will get here? Gm is equals to beta into Vgs minus Vt. So this is the equation for your MOS transistor transconductance, and that is given in terms of Gm. What it is? It is the relationship between your output current IDS and input voltage VGS. This is how we will be getting the equation. Now the next term we have to see. What from the above equation you got the expression for Gm. It reveals that Gm of the MOS transistor can be increased by increasing its width, which in turn increases the input capacitance and the area occupied. Is it true or not? So whatever, when you are going to increase the Gm, so what you have to increase, if width of the channel is increasing, then also it will increasing if the capacitance increases, correct? If capacitance increases, if transconductance increases, then width of the channel will also increases, plus your capacitance value also increases, correct? And it will be inversely proportional to the length of the channel. The length will be decreasing, yes or no? So from the above equation you can say that whenever your transconductance Gm of the MOS transistor can be increased by increasing its width as well as its input capacitance as well as the, as we said, width, so it is area occupied. So the output conductance GDS can be expressed now. It is very simple. Now the GDS can be expressed as GDS is equals to delta IDS divided by delta VGS. And that is given as the simple equation lambda into IDS. This lambda is directly given as 1 by L square. It is just the formula, that's it, because depending upon these equations. So for the MOS transistor or the MOS devices, strong dependence on the channel length is given. So maximum, it completely depends upon the channel length. Your MOS device or the MOS transistor whose output conductance is completely dependent on your channel, and that is given as IDS is inversely proportional to your length of the channel. So this is how you will be finding out that one. Which one? The conductance. Okay, output conductance. Now the next topic that we are going to see in this class is your MOS transistor figure of Barrett. Okay, I hope you are clear with the transconductance and our MOS transistor transconductance Gm as well as the output conductance GDS. Gm is very important. Okay, GDS is Okay, you have to find out, because it is completely depend upon the length of the channel. Okay, it inversely proportional to the length of the channel, depending upon the parameters of width as well as the capacitance and the area occupied. Okay, now next we are going to see is frequency figure of merit of your MOS transistor, and that is denoted by denoted by your omega naught or W naught. Okay, so the figure of merit is actually gives the measure of frequency response as well as your switching performance of a MOS transistor. So if you are having a MOS transistor, how much frequency response you are getting plus how much switching performance, how depending upon what switch, depending upon the voltage that has given or the threshold voltage, how switching speed is been done, how the switching performance is been done of your MOS transistor, that is all calculated by using your figure of merit. So the figure of merit, omega naught or the W naught, is the measure of frequency response and the switching performance of a MOS transistor, which is given as omega naught, or this W naught is equals to Gm divided by Cg. What is Gm? Gm is nothing but your transconductance, correct? Last we have discussed no transconductance, Gm divided by Cg. What is Gm? This is in terms of your which in non-saturation region itself. We have got the answer, right? So what is Gm is equals to, before beta term, this one, Gm is equals to mu into epsilon naught epsilon ins divided by d into W by L of Vgs minus Vt. So that is what you'll, and what is Cg value? Cg is nothing but epsilon ins epsilon naught WL divided by d. So these we have to substitute in the equation. What are the things that will be cancelled? Epsilon naught epsilon ins values, W values will be cancelled. Now what is the figure of merit? Omega naught, that you will be getting mu divided by this L into L, that you will be getting L square into Vgs minus Vt. This is the answer of your figure of merit. This figure of merit can be given as tau value. What is tau value? Tau is equals to L square by mu Vds. Yes, this is nothing but omega naught is equals to, or your frequency figure of merit is equals to 1 divided by your transit time. So it shows that switching speed depends on the gate voltage above threshold, where the carrier mobility and inversely on the square of the channel length. So your switching speed depends upon your, first one is threshold voltage, okay, second is the carrier mobility, and it is inversely dependent on, means it is inversely proportional to the square of your channel length. Square is nothing but your this one. This is has came downwards, so it is inversely proportional or inversely related to your square of the channel length. So that is how you will be seeing the figure of merit. So I hope you are clear with today's topics. First one was 4 topics we have discussed. Out of the transconductance is very important, and your figure of merit. So first one is your threshold voltage, right? MOS transistor threshold voltage. So what is your MOS transistor threshold voltage? It is nothing but minimum voltage or your gate to source voltage that is needed to create a conductance path. Okay, we have to see in both in depletion mode as well as in your enhancement mode. Now after that we have seen the transconductance Gm, that is nothing but it is the relationship between your output current, because you are applying input as voltage, so it is relationship between your output current and the input voltage Vgs. So Gm is equals to delta IDS divided by delta Vgs, and its answer is given as mu epsilon ins epsilon naught divided by d into W by L Vgs minus Vt. Then we have seen next is your GDS, that is output conductance, which is completely dependent upon the length of the channel. Then figure of merit, it gives the measure of frequency response, how much frequency response you are getting, okay, whenever you are doing the fabrication process or preparing an IC, and switching performance. The transistor, what are the transistor, how much at what level it is switching, okay. So it depends upon the switching performance, completely depends upon your threshold voltage as well as the carrier mobility, and it is inversely dependent on the square of your length of the channel. So this is about your figure of merit. I hope you are clear with today's class. In case if you are having any doubt, please let me know. We'll finish or we'll wind up the class up to here. Thank you.